Hello students, I welcome you to this class. Here we'll study a lesson in English for students of class 10th. The name of the chapter is Mirror. This is a poem written by Sylvia Plath and I am Ruchika Gupta. From the title only we can come to know this is the story of a mirror. Now this poem is very unique, it is very different. Why I am saying it's very unique? Because this is the story of a mirror and it is told to us by the mirror itself. That's why it's very interesting and it is very different. So let us see what all topics we'll cover here. First of all, I'll give you a background of this poem and then the summary of this poem. If you want to see the explanation of the poem and the literary devices used in the poem, they are discussed in a different video and the link is given in the description box. So let us begin with the lesson. First of all, let us see the background of this poem. In this poem, the poet Sylvia Plath has personified a mirror. She has treated the mirror to be a person, because over here the mirror is narrating its own story to us. The mirror narrates its tale. It tells us about its appearance, qualities and importance. This poem is unique and interesting as Sylvia discusses minute details and highlights the various qualities that a mirror possesses. So that's what I just told you, that this poem is very interesting because in this poem the poet Sylvia Plath has personified the mirror. The entire poem is narrated by the mirror itself. And we all know that a mirror is a non-living thing. It is inanimate. But still, the mirror is talking to us. This is the uniqueness of this poem. And this is what we call personification. She has given a lifelike feeling, a lifelike quality to the mirror. And in this poem, she discusses the minute qualities, the various different qualities that the mirror has. So it's very interesting. Now let us see the summary of this poem. The poet has personified a mirror which tells its story. It is silver in color, accurate and truthful. So in the first stanza, the mirror tells us about its appearance. It says that the mirror is silver in color. Now when we look at a mirror, it appears to be silverish in color. And then it says, I'm very accurate. I just reflect whatever comes in front of me as it is. And the mirror says that I am truthful. I never change the reflection of the objects that appear in front of me. The mirror says that I am very truthful. I am just as true, unbiased like the God's eyes. The mirror says I am not cruel. I am unbiased just like God is unbiased. And the mirror compares itself to God's eyes. The mirror says just like God is unbiased, He looks at everything, every person, every object with oneness. Similarly, the mirror also reflects everything truthfully and He treats everyone and it treats everything equally. It looks at the wall in front of it for most of the time and can make out the tiny pink spots on it. Then the mirror tells us that most of the time the mirror keeps on looking at the wall which is in front of the mirror. And the mirror says that the mirror can even identify the tiniest, the smallest pink spots on the wall. So the mirror says that it looks so carefully at the wall which is in front of it that it can even identify the smallest pink spots that are there on the wall's surface. The mirror feels that the wall is a part of itself, but the faces and spells of darkness separate them. Then the mirror says that it looks at the wall in front of it for such a long time that the mirror feels the wall is a part of the mirror only. And then the mirror says that the mirror is separated from the wall only in two conditions, only in two situations. Firstly, when some person appears in front of the mirror, a face comes in front of the mirror, then the mirror does not look at the wall in front of it. And if there is darkness, because during darkness no reflections are formed on the surface of the mirror, and so these two situations separate the wall from the mirror, because all the other times the wall is reflected in the mirror and it becomes a part of the mirror. Now we move ahead. In the third stanza, the mirror compares itself to a lake and says that like a lake it also has depth. In the third stanza, the mirror says that I am like a lake. Now what is the similarity between the mirror and the lake? The mirror says that the lake also reflects like me, and the mirror says that mirror has depth just like the lake has depth. A woman looks into the mirror to ascertain her beauty. The moon and the candles are liars, as their soft, dim light overlooks her flaws and falsely praises her beauty. Then the mirror says that a woman looks at the mirror every day. She looks at her face in order to make out how beautiful she is. And then the mirror says that the moon and the candles which praise the woman's beauty are liars, because they have such a dim light. The moonlight and the candlelight are so dim and soft that they cannot point out her minute flaws, the minute defects in her appearance. And they overlook all those flaws and praise the woman for her beauty. The mirror says that this praise is false, because they have overlooked the flaws in the woman's face. And so the mirror says that the moon and the candles are liars, because they do not point out the minute defects in the woman's appearance. Then the mirror says that the mirror is true and shows all the flaws to her. The mirror says that in comparison to the moon and the candles, I am very true, because I point out all the tiniest, the minutest flaws in the appearance of the woman to her. The mirror gets the woman's tears and hatred in return for being true. Then the mirror says that the woman rewards the mirror with tears and hatred for being truthful. Now the mirror says that I am true. I reflect the tiniest flaws in the woman's appearance. But this truth is very harsh for the woman. She cannot bear it, and in return she starts crying, and she hates the mirror for being so truthful and showing her her true appearance. Then further the mirror says the mirror is important to a woman as she often looks at her image in it. The mirror says that the mirror is an important and an integral part to the woman's life, because every morning as the sun rises, she looks at herself to ascertain her beauty. Every morning with sunrise, she looks at her face in the mirror to make out how she looks, how she appears to be. Her past image of a pretty young girl no longer exists, but it is there in the depth of the mirror. The mirror says that whenever the woman looks at her face in the mirror, she is looking for her pretty young face, which was her past and does not exist any longer. But the mirror says that that face of the pretty young girl is still there in the mirror's depth. The mirror says that that image of her has drowned in me. That means I have that image in me even now, although it no longer exists in reality. And then further the mirror says her future image of an old, ugly woman gets closer to her with each passing day. This is a fact. With each passing day, you are getting older. And the mirror says that her future image, what is her future image? What is her future appearance? Of an old and ugly woman. A woman who does not look very pretty because of her age. She has aged down. And then he says that image of hers is also there in the mirror, and it is approaching her with each passing day. It is coming closer to the woman. It is there in the mirror, and one day she will see it in the mirror itself. The mirror says that one day when the woman will look at herself in the mirror, she will get to see this face which is there in the mirror. So from where will the woman see her old ugly face? in the mirror itself. So the mirror is saying that with each passing day, this future image of the woman is getting closer to her, and one day when she will look at herself in the mirror, she will get to see this face of hers. So with this we have covered the summary and the background of this poem. Thank you for watching this lesson. If you liked it, do hit the like button and share it with your friends.